Hello, good day once more. Welcome to another online lecture with me, Miss Klin. So today we are going to talk another short story written by another Filipino author. And this short story is entitled All Over the World. So before we dive into the story itself, let's have a short background as to who Vicente Rivera Jr. is. So Vicente Rivera Jr., is a Bicolano writer who first started writing in the 1930s. He was the editor of Evening News magazine. He has won several prizes in the short story and has had a novel serialized in a women's magazine, and who threatens to win the 1957 Palanca Award in the short story. And after writing for several years, Vicente Rivera Jr. died in 1999 in Houston, Texas. Just a brief background of our author this morning. So, without further ado, let's go and dive into this short story All Over the World. So, I hope you've read the story already. It's a very interesting story, and I hope you had fun in reading. So, yeah, this they also say that, all over the world is a tale of goodbyes left unsaid. Do you agree with that? How I just wonder, I really want to ask you this question. How long would it take you to realize that someone was important to you? When would you be ready to lose that person? Exploring the very concept of bittersweet goodbyes, Vicente Rivera Jr.'s All Over the World takes us back to the difficult times of war back in August 1941. So the story is narrated from the point of view of Felix. So we have here the main character, Felix. He is a 21-year-old man living in a crumbling apartment building in front of a movie theater. When he returned home from a long day's work, he met a young girl in the sixth grade named Maria. And Maria is residing at the same place or the same building as he is. And he found her reading the book that he owned. Okay, so was their first encounter. He saw her reading a book, and this book was actually Greek mythology. And upon seeing her curiosity, he lent it to her. Yes, he was that kind. He was that kind of guy. And beginning what he considered a friendship. So that's how they first met, and that's how their friendship started. Throughout the story, they only converse on three separate occasions, not giving us much context as to why these brief interactions of their war, um, of their action, sorry, not giving us much context as to why these brief interactions of their bore so much importance to Felix. So if you've read the story, they didn't really talk that much. Okay. Wala kayo sila in, wala kayo sila like, balik-balik encounter. And as mentioned here, they only had like three occurrences. So, however, Felix speaks of his encounter with Maria as if she had been in the right place at the right time. Timing ba? Kung asa siya, naapod siya, something like that. So there was a certain aspect of peculiarity that she brought along with her with her that made him look forward to seeing her again. So it is heavily implied that Felix cared a great deal for Maria, as if he wanted to protect her innocence at the time of war. So let me remind you, Maria is around 11 years old. Felix is around 21 years old. So you see the age gap there. Yes. So towards the end of the story, Felix is informed that Maria's family plans to leave the building. But the only family she had was the janitor. As mentioned in the story, mo lang ang nahibiling family niya. Um, yeah, so it's mentioned in the story, her parents died, and the only family that she's left is the janitor in the building. Mhm. So, um, I think it was mentioned, um, yeah, Mang Lucio is the name of the janitor, and yeah, it was mentioned somewhere here in the book. Her parents died because he was really Felix was really curious as to where her family is. Um, because how how she looks, like how the author described her, or how her appearance is not, not that pleasing. Nga na ang like Marsha guwa ginaatiman kaayo. That was what that was how the author um painted a picture of my brain. Dili jud siya nga well taken care of, something like that. So towards the end of the story again, Felix is informed that Maria's family plans to leave the building. He then tells her that he'll save his goodbye for Maria when he returns from work. However, upon arriving at the place she said they were moving to, and she was nowhere to be found. His last exchange with a volunteer who was clearing out the building where Maria's family would have to move captured the disappointment and heartbreak that swirled inside Felix, and he realized that he hadn't gotten to say a proper goodbye. So in this is the conversation, the last part of the story, and like um in this part where he had a conversation with someone. He asked, where do you live? He said, someone asked, where do you live? He said, I used to. Sorry, the first question was, do you live here? And then Felix answered, I used to. Up to yesterday, I'm looking for the janitor. And then the other person asked, why? Did you leave something behind? And then he answered, yes, I did. But I think I've lost it now. And then the other guy answered, well, you better get along, son. This place, the whole area has been ordered evacuated. Nobody lives here anymore. And then at last he answered, yes, I know. I said, nobody. Yes, I know. I said, nobody. Okay, so Rivera captures what seems to be a lifetime of heartaches within a few hundred words, having Felix narrate his experience while keeping it short leaves us wanting more, similar to Felix. Having something or someone that provides sort of odd stability in your life, and then having it taken away from you so soon can be agonizing. And this is how we perceive our relationships that have left our lives as they've as quickly as they've entered them. Not wanting to leave something behind when we see them as things that can potentially be part of our lives for the long run is normal. Yet, there is a certain beauty of inevitability that abrupts Feroz that was captured in the story. Indeed, their goodbyes was inevitable, like because of the upcoming war, of course. Like you really see the conflict going on there. Like they have no other choice but also to evacuate and move somewhere else because of the ongoing war. So Felix, in a sense, represents the human desire for a connection with something tangible, while Maria is a representation of something momentarily that we get to experience and are forced to let go, whether we like it or not. All over the world captures the realness of the words unsaid and helps us understand that we can't prolong saying goodbye to things that we know we must let go of. We can't continue to hold on to the idea that everything will stay the way it is. We have to prepare ourselves for even the smallest possibility that things can be taken away from us at any time. We must speak our truth, and before we have the inability, we must speak the truth before we have to inevitably have to let them go. So that's actually it for um, the story all over the world. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed reading the story. At first, I honestly thought she was a ghost. I was actually waiting for the revelation that Maria was actually a ghost hunting the whole building, but it was not. So yes, it's a love story that didn't last that. I don't think it's actually a love story, but it's a story between two people that has the potential to be together. But unfortunately, the circumstance that they were trapped in didn't let that happen. So yes, um, if you have any question about this story, please don't hesitate to ask me in our group chat. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!